Hey, good afternoon everybody, and welcome here to Daytona International Speedway as we are ready here for our first Mobil1 Cup Series points event here of Season 7 in the NNSCRA. Today it's going to be the drive for COPD 300, a 40-lap event ready to be run, and if this race could be anything like our Truck Series race was, we are in for quite a treat here today. The fans, commentators, everybody is getting ready for this event as we are getting ready for some 3-wide, 4-wide racing, the big one possibly looming over these drivers, and maybe a surprise winner like we had in the Truck Series event. Tanner Sullivan surprising everybody in his debut in the Truck Series, picking up the win there in that event. Will we see something similar here today? I can't wait to find out. 42 cars. These drivers all had their qualifying session. They are going to be starting off with where they qualified in that qualifying session. And we are about to unveil for you now that starting lineup for today's drive for COPD 300. So, the command to fire the engines has been given. The pace car is going to roll off. The 42 cars will roll off behind him. And while they do that, here is your starting lineup for today's drive for COPD 300 at Daytona International Speedway. Picking up the pole for today's race, coming in with a 44.478 speed during our qualifying session, Ralph Mason, back in his very familiar number 09 Pontiac. And alongside of him, the highest qualifying rookie for Roush Fenway Racing will be Harrison Langford. Row 2 features Joshua Michaels, now over with Penske Racing. Alongside of him, another rookie for Turner Scott Motorsports, that is Cassandra Renzi in the 31 machine. Row number 3 is going to feature Andy Timmons, now making his debut in the Mobil1 Cup Series. He was a two-time winner in trucks last season. Alongside of him, the runner-up for the championship last season, Jace McLeod, now over with Phoenix Racing. Row 4 going to feature Zach Campbell making his return back to the Mobil1 Cup Series. He has not been in the Mobil1 Cup Series, I think, since season 4. And alongside of him, Daniel Day makes his return back to the Mobil1 Cup Series. He drove the 66 last season. The 22 for Penske Racing will be his season 7 home. In row 5, the other Mason, Wolfgang Mason, going to line up there in the number 82 Dodge. Both the Mason brothers having good qualifying results. And Dylan Young, who was a former chaser last season, he'll line up in 10th place. In 11th, for RAB Motorsports, number 29 of Tryfon Reed, making his return here to the Mobil1 Cup Series. I believe he drove the 12 car last season. And then alongside of him, a former chaser from season 6, Joshua Collard, back in the number 9 machine. In row 7, we've got James Silverfox, who was I believe it was a 3-time winner last season in the Mobil1 Cup Series. He's now over with Turner Scott Motorsports in the number 34, and alongside of him, the defending champion of the Mobil1 Cup Series, the season 6 champion, Austin LaPlante, now over with Roush Fenway Racing. Row 8 is going to feature Luke Walker, now in the number 2 machine, and then it's going to be Sean Henley, a former chaser last season. He's going to be back in his very familiar number 69 in 16th place. Levi McIntyre is going to be starting off from 17th place, a rookie this season, driving the 99, and alongside of him, George Roque now goes over to Junior Motorsports to drive the number 7 machine. He'll roll off from the 18th position. In row 10, Kyle Corbett now going to be moving over to a full-time ride here in Season 7, driving the number 42 machine. And alongside of him, Kyotech Racing makes its debut in the Mobil1 Cup Series with Anthony Curry behind the wheel, rolling off from 20th place. Then you got Charles Jackson. He's going to line up in 21st place. Jackson moving over now to Junior Motorsports. And Charles Samper makes the move to Joe Gibbs Racing. He'll roll off from 22nd place in the one-man financial Toyota Camry. In row 12, a couple of rookies. Henry Nova, known for his Snickers Cup Series racing for Joe Gibbs Racing last season, now over with Turner Scott Motorsports in the 32 Clorox Chevy. And alongside of him, Chris Washer, also known for his Snickers Cup Series skills. He's in the number 14 machine. That was the ride of last season's Rookie of the Year, Bob Jones. Zachary Robinson for the Season 4 picture. I realized that, but I couldn't get the 24 car rendered before Tennis Rental Shop closed. But Zachary Robinson in the number 24 machine, a rookie this season, will roll off from 25th. And alongside of him, Drew Austin, back in a full-time ride now. He hasn't been in a full-time ride since Season 5, and he'll be driving the number 54 machine for Kyle Busch Motorsports. Then in row number 14, Zach Rogers makes his return here to the Mobil1 Cup Series, now in a full-time ride in the number 33. And alongside of him, Kyle Matthews making his Mobil1 Cup Series debut in the Racing with Jesus Chevrolet number 89. Our winner from the Truck Series event, Tanner Sullivan, is going to be making his Mobil1 Cup Series debut here today, rolling off from 29th position. We'll see if he can maybe go 2 for 2 in making his debut and win at Daytona. And last season's Rookie of the Year, Bob Jones, will roll off, completing row 15. Madison Seaver moved herself down to the Mobil1 Cup Series by order of her Dollarton Falcon Motorsports owner, Chris Dollarton. She's going to be driving the number 1 machine here in her Mobil1 Cup Series debut, and alongside of her, the Season 3 runner-up in the Mobil1 Cup Series championship hunt. That was Jacob Lawler, and he'll roll off in the number 41 machine from the 32nd position. Cody Lamas comes in with a full-time ride this season out of Kyle Busch Motorsports, driving the number 77 machine. Alongside of him, Jessica Shelton in a newly repainted, revamped number 3 machine for Michael Norman Motorsports, rolls off from 34th place. Former champion, our champion from Season 5, Sean Galligan, and the defending winner of this event will roll off all the way back from the 35th position, back in the very familiar Aspen Dental blue colors on that Toyota. And Lyndon Wright makes his return as well to the Mobil1 Cup Series. He hasn't been in this series since Season 4. He'll be driving the number 43 machine in the 36th position. Dylan Schwallenberg makes his return as well to the Mobil1 Cup Series. I believe he hasn't been in the series since Season 3. He's going to be driving number 18 for Joe Gibbs Racing. And Ian Dutta makes his debut here in the NNSCRA Mobil1 Cup Series, driving number 88 for Junior Motorsports. In row 20 is going to be Jake Cole, now going to be in a full-time ride, driving the number 21 machine. Alongside of him, a former Mobil1 Cup Series champ in Trent Dunham rolls off from the 40th position. And then in the final row, Jake Rogers in the number 19 machine in his own team's ride. He'll roll off from 41st place. And Dylan Pote is going to be starting dead last in today's event from the 42nd position in the number 17 car out of Phoenix Racing. And that is a look at your starting lineup for today's drive for COPD 300. We're about ready to go to Green Flag Racing, and trouble already broke out when they came off of pit road. The 60 car erupted in smoke, and Harrison Langford, who was scheduled to start on the outside of the front row, has blown up. And that is a tough break for Harrison here in his debut in the Mobil1 Cup Series. Had a great car. It's the same car that he qualified second for this race in, and he may not be able to come down and take the green flag. What a tough break for the driver of the Red Bull Ford Mustang. And the unfortunate thing for him is we are going to be going to Green Flag Racing, so even if he does get it back on the track, he will not be able to keep his car on the lead lap. So Cassandra Renzi now moves up in the 2nd position here. McLeod up into 4th, and Daniel Day up into 6th, as the whole outside line is going to move up 1 row. And you got to wonder, is that going to come into play into whether one of those outside line drivers is going to win this race? I don't know. Who knows? That one little position they gained up there on the high side could be the difference maker. But that is still a tough break for Harrison Langford. Nonetheless, though, we're ready to go Green Flag Racing for 40 laps. Ralph Mason gets us underway here at Daytona. Up until now, for the Mobil1 Cup Series drivers, it's basically been for pride, purse, and position. Now, points are on the line, so there are 4 Ps here now that these drivers have to worry about. And immediately, Joshua Michaels makes the move to the inside. Here comes the 12 machine. And they're going to go 3 wide for the lead. Michaels down on the bottom. Drafting helps coming in the form of... That's Andy Timmons down there behind him in the 25. Sorry, the lighting on my computer wasn't allowing me to see who that was. Right behind him, Zach Campbell. Right behind him, Wolfgang Mason. And then the defending champ, Austin LaPlante, there on the inside line as well. They are 3 by 3 by 3, about 3-4 rows back. And whoa, Daniel Day gets the wall. There goes Cassandra Renzi around. There goes LaPlante around. Tryfon Reed is spun. Wolfgang Mason as well, as they were 3 wide at the line. Michaels is going to be the leader, and they're not going to be racing it around to the caution flag. That was the caution flag. And that looked like it may have very well been one car getting into the wall off of 4. It might have been Tryfon Reed. I'm not sure. But the caution flag is out. I know that Tryfon was involved. I know Wolfgang Mason was in it. There's Tryfon. He was able to continue on, it looks like. There's Cassandra Renzi. She was able to continue on. Oh, Zachary Robinson's got quite a bit of damage to the front of his Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet, however. That may have been from a follow-up incident. I don't know for certain. Oh, there's another car on the apron there. Who's that? Oh, that's Tanner Sullivan, our Truck Series winner. Whoa, look out. Henry Nova, Wolfgang Mason getting by. There goes LaPlante. Looks like he's got a little bit of damage to the front of his machine. There's Anthony McCrory in the 61. He's going by. I can't tell if there's any damage to the Monster Energy Audi. Look further back here. There's Henley, Jake Cole, and Dutta. Schwallenberg's got some damage. Bob Jones looks like he's got some damage on his machine. Last season's Rookie of the Year. Trent Dunham may also have some damage. Oh, Kyle Matthews is on pit road. Dylan Poteet's on pit road as well. And drivers are going to be making pit stops here on lap number 2. So it looks like this was more than just a little spin. It happened in the trial when a lot of times a lot of drivers and their cars slide up into traffic, and that might have been something that took place here, or we might have had a follow-up wreck in turn 1, one or the other. Whatever the case, we're going to jump back, take a look, and see what happened as Joshua Michaels, Ralph Mason, Andy Timmons, and all the leaders are making pit stops. We'll see who comes off pit road first in just a moment. Well, here's a look at it. Watching the high side of your screen, the number 31 Cassandra Renzi. I think she's going to be the one that's going to get the wall coming off this corner right there next to the safer barrier. Daniel Day sees that. He reacts, goes down the racetrack, gets into Tryphon Reed. Then Reed comes up into Cassandra again. So that was about 3 cars making contact. There's Henley spinning. LaPlante spins. Wolfgang Mason spins. Now, I don't think Wolfgang comes back up into traffic. We'll find out in a moment. I do think, however, the defending champ Austin LaPlante is going to, and we're going to find out right here. Oh, yeah, Wolfgang did come up. He got McCrory and Kyle Matthews as well as Bob Jones. There you see Nova and Zachary Robinson going to get taken out by the Austin LaPlante machine. Further back there, they're still piling in. I see Galligan, Dunham, Lyndon Wright. I thought I also saw Dylan Schwallenberg. Yes, I did. And they all just kind of piled up there just after the start-finish line. So there were more drivers than I expected that were involved in this one, and it was both Wolfgang Mason and Austin LaPlante who slid back up into traffic to cause that. Let's jump to the 82, rewind it just a moment here, and see who it was that hit the Wolfgang Mason machine first. Whoop, I missed the button. My bad. Let's see if we can pinpoint who it was. I think it might have been Bob Jones that got the first hit. Oh, no, I think it actually could have been Anthony McCrory. So watch this again. And you'll see here, watch the 22 of Daniel Day behind the 31 of Cassandra Renzi. Right there, he reacts. Either that or Joshua Collard got into his left rear. I don't know which it was. But then down into Tryphon, back up into Cassandra, and then they come down and into Sean Henley and Austin LaPlante. And Wolfgang Mason going to get clipped there as well, and that spins his car around. And then everybody's scattering, trying to find a way through. And I think it is going to be Anthony McCrory that's going to take the first hit right there. Almost head on into Wolfgang Mason. He then goes up into Matthews. Matthews then gets hit from behind by Bob Jones. Tanner Sullivan got a piece of it right there. Jessica Shelton, I think, gets a little bit of it. There's Lyndon Wright. He doesn't slow up. He gets involved. Jacob Lawler, I think, got a little piece of this as well. Jake Rogers may have. There's Dylan Poteet. He got into the back of Sean Galligan. And there's another car there, too. I can't make out. Looks like it could be Ian Dutta. It's either Ian Dutta or George Roque. And Jake Cole got spun out back here. Now, who spun around the 21? Oh, was it Sean Henley? Did Henley come back up on the track too and collect somebody? Yeah. As everybody's going around, Henley's coming back up. He actually hits Galligan in the driver's side door. And then Jake Cole's trying to get around, and he's going to make some contact right there with the 69 machine. So Henley was another driver who came back up the racetrack. LaPlante, Wolfgang, and Sean Henley. And it involved quite a few drivers here. Not a lot of hard licks, but it may be enough to send some drivers back behind the wall. We'll see if anybody does retire. So we head back now to Green Flag Racing. Well, all these drivers came down pit road, made pit stops. All of them had different strategies, however, and so it's going to be a little bit of a mixed match up here inside the top 10 now for this restart. Dylan Poteet is coming off of pit road. He's going to continue on, but I don't believe he's on the lead lap. No, he's fallen 2 laps down to the leaders. But the drivers that are out of the race after what we saw take place are as follows. Austin LaPlante, Zachary Robinson, Anthony McCrory, Bob Jones, Kyle Matthews, Tanner Sullivan, and of course Harrison Langford is back behind the wall after his engine gave up the ghost before he even was able to make it around here to the green flag. The fortunate thing for Harrison Langford is his pit stall was pit stall number 2, which means he had to cross the start-finish line to come down to his pit stall and retire. Had his pit stall been before the start-finish line, they would not have even scored him at all today. So that's at least one fortunate thing that he is going to get scored for today's event, but Dead last is not exactly the place you want to get scored in if you are a driver just starting out the season. Dylan Poteet lines up there 2 laps down. The top 10 as we get ready to go back to green. Pole sitter Ralph Mason, they got him off pit road first. Second place could be Andy Timmons. James McLeod in third. Fourth place Zach Campbell. Daniel Day in fifth. Luke Walker lines up 6th. 7th is George Roque. Joshua Michaels, who is first coming down pit road, he comes out in 8th. Dylan Young is 9th. And James Silverfox lines up in the 10th position as we get ready to go back to green. Now we know that Dylan Poteet ended up getting into the back of Sean Galligan under that caution. Question is he up to speed here, or will he play havoc with these lead lap drivers? Green flag back out here on lap 6 of 40. We have a total of 33 to go. I'm sorry, 35 to go. Things already spreading out, almost 3 wide back there between Drew Austin, Chris Washer, and I think that was, no, it wasn't Daniel Day. I'm not sure who the other car was that went on the high side. It might have been Charles Sanford, actually, now that I think of it. Now things settle back out to double wide racing. As we can see, Dylan Poteet is apparently up to speed. Zach Campbell using him as a drafting partner. Now going to stick him in the middle, though, and he'll go to the inside. Now the ace in the hole here could be for James McLeod, because he's got his teammate Dylan Poteet, not in the lead lap, but a fellow Tweenix Racing driver up here that he'd be able to work with. Speaking of McLeod, he just got the wall there off of 4. And he gets a little tap again. Almost got hit from behind by Joshua Michaels. As here comes Andy Timmons to the bottom, looking for the top position. Andy Timmons, a 2-time winner in the Truck Series last season, made the chase in his rookie season in the trucks. That was enough for team owner Chris Dollerton to decide to bring him up here to the Mobil1 Cup Series. And he's doing a great job here today. Is the Andy Timmons driver, as he has been keeping his car up inside the top 10 all day long, and now is going to the front. Little help there from an unofficial teammate of George Roque. The 25 car out of Michael Norman Motorsports, and oh boy, Ralph Mason, the pole sitter, got the wall there, and look at Levi McIntyre going to the apron in order to avoid. I almost thought they were about to split 4 wide there for a moment. That's why I said, oh boy. Kyle Corbett now in the apron, heading into turn 1, trying to get around the slower machine of Ralph Mason. As George Roque has gone to the lead now, Dylan Young going to push him there. Dylan Young and James Silverfox now officially teammates here in Season 7, as they both drive Turner Motorsports machines. And Turner Motorsports actually come in with a pretty formidable team this season. They got Dylan Young, they got James Silverfox, Cassandra Renzi, and Henry Nova. So a little split of veteran and rookie drivers here. And there's another driver coming up the inside line there that I've really been interested to see how he's going to do here in his first season back in a full-time ride. Drew Austin in the 54 right behind Joshua Michaels. Oh, 4 wide, that's not going to work. Luke Walker, Michaels, Washer, Silverfox, Washer gets turned. Oh no, don't come back up, he did. And he's going to collect drivers. Michaels involved, Poteet involved, and this is a big wreck. Jake Cole is in trouble. Michaels is flipping. I can't even see the drivers here. There's Cody Lamas involved. Rogers, Shelton, Sanford. I'm not sure if that was really necessary. Henley, I think, sustained some damage from that. I think Daniel Day was involved. And oh boy, what in the world is Madison Sieber doing? Running the apron there 3 wide. That's not a good idea unless you want your car to snap loose on you at a moment's notice. But, oh my goodness, that was so not what we needed. Caution flag is out. Daniel Day is going to be, or not Daniel Day, I'm sorry, Drew Austin, I meant to say, is going to be the leader. Remember, the last time we saw him was the All-Star race last year, the Mobil Cup Series All-Star race in a 1-race deal. And he's out in front right now, but, oh my goodness, that was a couple of front runners getting together there. Chris Washer and Joshua Michaels, and that spelled out huge, drastic results. And we are only 1/4 the way through this race. Oh boy. That was a lot of hard licks taken right there, and a lot of top runners involved as well. Caution flag is out here for the second time today at Daytona. Let's jump back and take a look at a replay of what happened. Well, it was 4 wide here, and I don't really know how we even got into a 4 wide situation, quite honestly. But Dylan Young's going to go up, get the wall there. That still does not allow them to settle out their 4 wide situation. And I don't even know really where the context can become. I mean, right there you see Chris Washer, Joshua Michaels just crowd each other. They're going to go down here into the grass, and there's just no way they can completely cut a turn like this through the grass area without coming back up. There's just no way with these kind of speeds. Right up the racetrack, Jessica Shelton got the first hard impact there. Zach Campbell got some of it too. Daniel Day there. There's both the Penske drivers now. Michael's car actually up on top of the Dylan Poteet machine. Here comes Jake Rogers. Nowhere for him to go. He's going to hit Poteet. Jake Cole nowhere to go. Cody Lamas nowhere to go. Sanford, whoa! Hard right into the back of the Jessica Shelton machine. There's Henley getting involved as well. Lyndon Wright got into the back, I believe, of the Daniel Day machine. Then they go down behind the campers and the motorhomes so you can't even see them. But I think Michael's actually flipped over. Let's see if we... Yeah, he did a few barrel rolls there. Right here after the impact, right there of Jake Cole. That's enough to turn the 12 car off of the 17, and he starts flipping over. And look at the hits. Sanford into the back of Shelton, and... Man. That is some hard licks, and a lot of front runners right there, too. Daniel Day, Zach Campbell, Chris Washer, and Joshua Michaels. A lot of drivers who run up at the front. Jessica Shelton was actually up inside the top 10, I believe, as well. And the caution flag is going to come out here for a huge, huge pile-up. Yeah, Shelton crossed the line in 10th last time around. That pretty breast cancer paint scheme all crunched up. A lot of drivers involved in this one, and we've already had 2 big wrecks here today already at Daytona, and I'm not sure if we're done yet. But the yellow flag is waving for the second time today. Here in the Drive for COPD 300, let's head back now for the green flag once again. Well, the drivers took the opportunity to come down pit road, make some pit stops once again. And Drew Austin's team was the fastest pit crew to be able to get him back out in front. So he'll restart as the leader. James Silverfox lines up second. Luke Walker is in third. Levi McIntyre fourth. And George Roque is in fifth. Sixth place, Chris Washer, even after the damage he sustained from coming back up into traffic. So we'll have to see if he's going to be up to speed or not. Dylan Young lines up in 7th. Ralph Mason, the pole sitter, still in this in 8th. 9th place, Joshua Collard. And Kyle Corbett is up in 10th place. In 11th is going to be Madison Siebert. 12th place, Jacob Lawler. 13th is Charles Jackson. 14th, Lyndon Wright. And 15th is Cassandra Renzi. And they got Zach Campbell in 16th. 17th place, is Ian Dutta. Henry Nova's in 18th. 19th is James McLeod. Sean Galligan in 20th. Andy Timmons is 21st, Wolfgang Mason in 22nd, and the last car on the racetrack in 23rd place will be Trent Dunham, which means we have a total of 19 drivers behind the wall, and they include the following who just went behind the wall to the garage area. Tryphon Reed, actually, I'm trying to figure out, was Tryphon Reed involved in that incident too? He might have been. Tryphon Reed's out of the race as well as Sean Henley, Daniel Day, Zach Rogers, Dylan Schwallenberg, also out of the race of the cars of Charles Sanford, Joshua Michaels, Jessica Shelton, Jake Rogers, Jake Cole, Cody Lamas, Dylan Poteet, Austin LaPlante, Zachary Robinson, Anthony McCurry, Bob Jones, Kyle Matthews, Tanner Sullivan, and Harrison Langford. I'm trying to figure out how a couple drivers actually retired from this race, namely Dylan Schwallenberg and Zach Rogers. Green flag's back out. If we have a caution, we'll try and look back, see what happened to those two, because I don't recall seeing them get involved in any way, shape, or form in any of these cautions that have taken place here today. Although I do know that that Dylan Schwallenberg did get involved in that first wreck, but I thought he continued on from it, because I don't remember reading his name and the drivers that went behind the wall after that first wreck. But nonetheless, we're getting pretty close to the halfway point. We got to reach lap 20 before we get to the halfway point in this event. Drew Austin currently the leader, and how about some of the rookies that are doing really good here today? Namely, Levi McIntyre, Chris Washer. They're really doing a good job keeping their cars up here, up in front and in the top 10 and out of trouble. I'm also noticing Cassandra Renzi back there too, and Madison Siebert. Those two actually working together now to catch back up to this lead pack. But they're doing a good job today here as well, as Drew Austin continues to lead the way here. Let's find out where Sean Galligan is. There he is. He's trying to catch up here. The defending winner of this race is apparently off the pace just a bit. He's in the 17th position. He's running right now in the 190s. Let's see where the leader Drew Austin's running. He's running 196, so about 4 to 5 miles per hour difference between the leader and 17th place Sean Galligan. They almost broke 4 wide there again. Don't do that. Oh, contact! Roque has gone around! Right in the middle of the corner. The caution flag is going to wait for the 3rd time today. Everyone looks like they may have actually gotten past that. As George Roque went around, I don't even know who he went off the nose of. Could have been Dylan Young, and he's on pit road already as George Roque. Jacob Lawler's on pit road, so too is Galligan. He was involved. And the caution flag's going to wait for the third time today. That was a hard hit right in the middle of the corner. Lawler apparently got into the back of George Roque, and Sean Galligan became a party to that wreck. Boy, a lot of cautions taking place here at Daytona, no doubt about that. And Drew Austin's going to be the leader under the second restart. Or under his second, I should say his second caution segment, third caution segment of the day here for us. And so what we're going to do is we are going to jump back, look at a replay of what just happened, but we're first going to see if we can pinpoint what happened to Dylan Schwallenberg and Zach Rogers, two drivers that we have not been able to account for why they retired from today's race. Drew Austin, currently the leader here on lap 16 of 40. Well, this was all the way back on lap 10. This is what's going to involve taking out Zach Rogers and Dylan Schwallenberg, our old faithful friend of Daytona here. It's called the part of the show where everybody on the back straightaway wads up and wrecks each other. You're going to see here Sean Galligan coming up with quite a bit of momentum, has to slam on the brakes in order to avoid running the back of Jacob Lawler. Then in turn, Trent Dunham has to do the same, then Daniel Day has to do the same, then Zach Rogers has to do the same. And it's just on from there. Lyndon Wright going to get involved in this. Here comes the 18 of Schwallenberg. We know he retired from the race. And that's going to be the hit right there. Daniel Day actually facing the wrong way there. Jake Rogers was behind all that. So was Sean Henley and Ian Dutta. And that was what took those drivers out of the race, actually. Rogers, Dylan Schwallenberg, Daniel Day, and Zach Rogers all out of the race after that little wad up on the back straightaway. Now let's find out what happened to George Roque, Sean Galligan, and Jacob Lawler. Let's see if we can pinpoint what exactly happened. Remember I said they looked like they were going to go 4 wide. They were able to settle it out to 3 wide, I think. Let's see, though. Levi McIntyre getting a run to the inside of the 7 machine, and I think what he might have been trying to do was tuck back up in line behind the number 7, but he was already to the inside, and there's the contact, turns him down into Jacob Lawler. Lawler takes a hard hit into the wall. Holy cow, that was full speed. And then, whoa, Joshua Collard doesn't know how lucky he is. That was close. Madison Sieber just so close. Same for Zach Campbell. And then here comes Sean Galligan. Head on. Nowhere to go. Oh, man. Oh, and then right hard into Lawler again. That's some hard impact for those drivers. Good heavens. And that's what's going to bring out the caution here for the third time today at Daytona. A couple more retirees for the garage area. I wouldn't be surprised. One of them including the defending race winner of this event. Let's head back now to the green flag. I don't know if drivers made pit stops under this caution or not, but we're about to find out. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Daniel Day was the leader, or not Daniel Day, why do I keep saying Daniel Day? Drew Austin was the leader under the caution, but they made some pit stops, and everything cycled around and shifted around once again. Kyle Corbett is now the new leader of this race in the number 42 machine. He'll restart in position numero uno. Ralph Mason lines up in second now. Third, Luke Walker. Fourth, Dylan Young. Fifth place, Chris Washer. Sixth is James McLeod. Andy Timmons in seventh. Eighth place, Drew Austin. Ninth place will be James Silverfox, and Levi McIntyre lines up in 10th. 11th is Charles Jackson. 12th, Madison Sieber. Joshua Collard is in 13th. 14th, Trent Dunham. 15th place will be Cassandra Renzi. Zach Campbell is 16th. 17th place, Ian Dutta. 18th, Ian Nova. And then 20 cars on the racetrack completed by Lyndon Wright and Wolfgang Mason. Green flag ready to come back out. More drivers behind the wall after that incident. Jacob Lawler, George Roque, and Sean Galligan. The 3 we saw get involved, all back behind the wall. 20 cars left to finish out this race. Not all of them up to speed. And we have reached the halfway point here in today's event. Ralph Mason immediately going down to the bottom of the racetrack on Kyle Corbett. How would it be for Mason? I think that we've never had before, during the Daytona 500 race weekend, I don't think we've ever had a driver go coast to coast from pole to win. I don't think so. I may be wrong, though. But I don't recall it off the top of my head. Meanwhile, though, Ralph Mason, lots of company down low. Luke Walker, Dylan Young, James McLeod, here they come. And James McLeod out of Tweenix Racing has to do it alone now. His 2 teammates, Sean Henley and Dylan Poteet, out of the race. Andy Timmons back there. He's got a teammate in Madison Sieber that he could work with. His other teammate, Jessica Shelton, out of the race. As Luke Walker leads the way here, 3 wide for second. Here comes Drew Austin to the bottom underneath McLeod. And here comes James Silverfox as well. Don't count him out. He was a 3-time winner back in Season 4. He was a 3-time winner back in Season 6. And I'll tell you, Silverfox knows how to win races, and I don't think this move over to Turner Motorsports is going to make any difference. Got a good car here today. As he's going to now move down to the inside of Luke Walker. He'll now draft the new leader, Drew Austin, who's gone back to the front. Whoa, Luke Walker gets the wall off that corner. And how about Charles Jackson? Haven't talked about the driver of the 5 at all today, and here he is now up inside of the top 5, having an excellent run right now for Junior Motorsports. And Charles Jackson ended up having a win in a Mobil1 Cup Series event at this track, and whoa, 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 whoa! Didn't even see what happened there, but apparently Jackson got into Silverfox's left rear. The two of them went for a little ride down the apron, and somehow, some way, they kept it together. And now here comes Levi McIntyre to the bottom. Wow. And I was actually looking through trying to find nicknames for these drivers. I'm actually going to be calling Charles in this race Cinco de Mayo, because he drives the 5 car, and he's the Mayonnaise Man. Da-da-dun! Oh no, not 4 wide again. Please, not 4 wide again. That's back around Andy Timmons, and it looks like Timmons going to play the veteran. He's going to move out of that situation. That was almost 4 wide heading to turn 1 again, and we know what happened the last time. Another driver having a good run here today that we haven't talked about. Chaser last season, coming in this ride for the 2nd straight season, Joshua Collard. Now up in the 7th position there in the Black & Decker paint scheme on that number 9 today. And he's got himself one fast race car. Don't count him out. He went through all of Season 6 in the Mobil1 Cup Series without a victory. And we know, too, he's going to be starting inside the top 5 for the Daytona 500, so a lot of well-needed experience right here for that driver that he may be able to utilize in the Great American Races. James McLeod tries to lead that lap, and he will do so, but here comes Dylan Young down to the bottom for that top position. I went down the garage here. I was talking with a lot of these drivers, and I was talking with James McLeod, especially with the fact that he's moving over to an entirely new ride this season after he had a championship run in Season 6. Oh, almost gets turned there by Joshua McLeod. He does get turned! There goes McLeod. Drew Austin is spun. That was contact with Joshua Collard. Collard has also spun his car around. 3 cars spinning here on the back straightaway. Is that enough for a caution? Yes, it is. Caution flag will fly. Now, I'll go back to quickly what I was saying here. It looks like Dylan Young's going to lead us under yellow. I asked James McLeod what his goal was here this season. He says redemption. Remember, he ended up losing out on the championship in a 5-lap dash with Austin LaPlante when the two of them were tied at the end of the Zenjolta season finale. So redemption is on the mind of James McLeod, and right now, though, his redemption going to have to take a little bit of a detour as he spun around on the back straightaway there along with Joshua Collard and that car, Drew Austin. There they are. I think they're in 15th, 16th, 17th as they cross the stripe. They probably flat spotted the tires, but aside from that, I don't think they really sustained any damage. So Dylan Young is the leader under the caution flag here on lap 25. Let's jump back and see where the contact came from to have those 3 drivers go spinning around there on the exit of turn number 2. McLeod started really shifting up higher and higher in this turn. Right there, you see him. And Kyle Corbett was all over the back bumper of Joshua Collard. And I think Collard was trying to find some place to take that momentum. Here he is trying to make the move 3 wide underneath. And McLeod just didn't give him enough room, or else there wasn't enough room for Collard to make the move. One or the other. They're going to turn down. Andy Timmons going to get a little piece of that there in the 25. There you see Austin spun around. Right behind him is Joshua Collard, and there's James McLeod that we're looking at. Collard going to try and continue on. His car going to snap around to the right side, and that's going to cause him to spin. Andy Timmons does a good job keeping his car in check and keeping his car straight to be able to continue on. And a big plume of smoke from 3 spinning drivers, McLeod, Collard, and Drew Austin, but it's actually kind of refreshing to see a spin on the racetrack rather than a big pileup is what we've been seeing all day. And it looks like McLeod, Collard, and Austin, yeah, they're going to spin around, but they're going to dodge a pretty big bullet, I would say, as I think they are all going to be able to continue on. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing with a total of 12 laps to go. Charles Jackson is currently the leader now after all these drivers came down and made pit stops yet again. So Jackson the leader. Dylan Young lines up second. Chris Washer's third. Madison Sieber fourth. And fifth is James Silverfox. Sixth place is going to be Levi McIntyre. Trent Dunham up to seventh place. They've done a good job getting this car repaired. He's been making numerous pit stops every time the caution comes out, and he's been able to keep himself on the lead lap. Keep an eye on that car. I think he's still maybe up to speed too. He'll line up seventh. Eighth, Ralph Mason. Ninth, Zach Campbell. And Lyndon Wright is now up here in the top 10. James McLeod and company, they are still going to be able to continue. Joshua Colley did not come to pit road. He lines up in position number 12. So, James McLeod and everybody else, though, they did pit. They are in 19th, 20th, and wait a minute, where's Drew Austin? Did he pit? I guess Drew Austin didn't pit either. Well, actually, they all pitted, but they all had different strategies, too, so actually, I guess whatever I was trying to say doesn't really matter. As here comes Turner Scott Motorsports to the bottom. Dylan Young and James McLeod now, or make that Silver Fox, coming down on the inside line to help with the drafting. Levi McIntyre there as well. And don't count out Ralph Mason. I think that driver may have an idea of going coast to coast, pole to win here at Daytona. It's very difficult to do, but Ralph Mason's kept himself out of trouble, and he may be the guy to do it. As Trent Dunham maybe is not up to speed. Whoa! Contact between Silver Fox and Levi McIntyre. They took a little trip on the apron. It's the second time that Silver Fox has been on the apron here in the past 10 laps. Got there courtesy of Charles Jackson one time, now courtesy of Levi McIntyre, as Dylan Young leads the way by a pretty huge margin here. Don't know if that's a good thing, though. And I can't tell if Trent Dunham is holding up those drivers or if they're just working together there in a single file formation. Right now, Dylan Young's running 189. What's Trent running? 186. However, these drivers, well, I was just about to say, they're not too keen to leave Trent Dunham out to dry, but now here they come. I guess Trent Dunham is not completely up to speed with these guys. They were trying to make something work, but apparently it's just not going to happen. And Trent Dunham's going to start losing positions now with a damaged race car. Back up to the front, though. Dylan Young continues to lead the way, but look at this. Here comes that company that I was talking about. Ralph Mason now going to dive down to the inside line, look for the top position. And we got quite a few rookies up here that could make their presence felt. Got Madison Sieber up here in this mix, and Levi McIntyre. Remember, Tanner Sullivan, a rookie making his debut in the Oreo Truck Series, picked up the win ahead of all those other veterans. So don't count those rookies out here. Chris Washer trying to catch back up here, but he may have lost the draft. Right now, there are 7 drivers in this lead pack. Mason, Young, Sieber, Campbell, McIntyre, Silver Fox, and Jackson. And I think I was going to say something about Charles Jackson earlier before he had that contact with Silver Fox, which stopped me from saying it. But Charles Jackson is a former winner at Daytona in the Mobil1 Cup Series. It was last season. He won the summer Daytona race when he drove the number 2 machine. Meanwhile, though, Ralph Mason leads the way. Zach Campbell lined up in second. Silver Fox, I'm actually surprised Silver Fox is comfortable with Charles Jackson drafting him here on that inside line, because the last time those two were drafting together, they almost wrecked in turn 2. But it seems like Silver Fox and Jackson continuing to run with each other. Kind of ironic, too. Both those drivers in the past 2 seasons have driven the 19, the Snickers Cup Series. Silver Fox drove it last season. Jackson going to be driving it this season. So they got a little bit of a, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't even care. Ralph Mason continuing to lead the way, and now it has turned into a 7-car pack up here at the front with a total of 8 laps to go. We have worked 4 caution flags, 3 of them for really big, well, no, actually I should say the first 2 were for really big wrecks. The 3rd caution was for a 3-car incident, and then the 4th caution was for a 3-car spin out of turn 2. So we've had a little bit of everything here today. And we'd love to be able to finish this race under the green flag if we could. It's looking like it's going to come down between 7 drivers, 2 of them rookies, to finish out this race. And you look here, there's only an opportunity for 2 teammates to be able to work together, and that's Silver Fox and Dylan Young out of Turner Scott Motorsports. Wolfgang Mason not up here to help Ralph Mason. George Roque has retired from the race. Ian Dudd, I believe, is off the pace, so nobody able to help Charles Jackson. Andy Timmons is way back there somewhere, and Jessica Shelton's out of the race, so nobody to help Madison Sieber. And right now, Ralph Mason, I'll tell you what, though, he is putting on a clinic. The same car that he was able to qualify onto the pole position for today's event, leading today's race in the closing stages. And right now, Ralph Mason making it look easy, and he could go coast to coast here, picking up the pole and the win. If I'm not mistaken, I think it would be his first win in the Mobil1 Cup Series at a restrictor plate track. I may be incorrect in that. Right now, though, Ralph Mason looking pretty doggone good. He's more known for his road course racing style, but he's showing off his stuff here in restrictor plate racing as well. As here comes Levi McIntyre to the inside. He's one of those two drivers that could pull off a Tanner Sullivan today, him and Madison Sieber. And McIntyre looking pretty doggone good. Now we know that the 99 team puts together good cars for restrictor plate racing. Emilio Navarrete went to victory lane at Daytona last season driving in that car. And Levi McIntyre has kept himself out of trouble all day long. And this has been really going to be some good experience for him too, because if I'm not mistaken, I think Levi McIntyre is starting dead last in the Daytona 500 in his new Roush Fenway ride. So this is good experience, been good experience for him to cut his way up through the field up to the front. He'll probably be able to utilize some of what he's learned today in the Great American Race. Zach Campbell now looking to the inside, second place for Ralph Mason. These drivers all looking to jumpstart their Season 7 with a win here at Daytona, and it's going to come down to who has themselves in the right position with the right drafting partner here on the final lap, which is drawing close, by the way. Next time around, 4 laps to go here at Daytona. Dylan Young all over the back bumper of Zach Campbell, offering him the drafting help there. And whoa, Campbell got a little squirrely there in the middle of the corner. That could have been dangerous, but he keeps it under control, and here he comes now looking to the inside line, and Dylan Young, who helped push him up to the back bumper, the 99, now going to help push him past the 99. And look who Dylan Young has to help him. His Turner Motorsports teammate, James Silverfox. They found each other again. Those two, they hook up. You got to watch out for them because they're teammates. And we know what kind of a teammate James Silverfox is. He pushed his own teammate, Dylan Poteet, in the Talladega Truck Series race to the win when he could have very well gone for the lead himself in a photo finish. He was willing to put that aside and help his teammate try and battle for a championship. I don't really know if he would do that for Dylan Young here, but you never know. Oh no, slower car up ahead. That's a Turner Motorsports car. Henry Nova. They're going to split him. Whoa, Campbell gets the wall. He's going to turn down to the inside of the racetrack. Save it, Campbell. Save it. Going through the grass area, going to bring it back up the racetrack. Is everything going to be cool? Yes, it will. Nice save by the 28. He'll keep it together, but it split the field up quite a bit. And now I think there's only 3 cars in this lead pack. Yes, there are. Dylan Young, Madison Sieber, and James Silverfox. Now, is there time for Ralph Mason, Levi McIntyre, and some others to be able to catch back up? I don't know. It'll be 2 to go this next time around. Dylan Young leads the way by about 3 car lengths over Madison Sieber, who is now about to get a drafting partner in James Silverfox. This is going to get very interesting very quick. And it was a little bit of teammateship there on the part of Henry Nova, helping his 2 Turner Scott Motorsports cars, his teammates, get past him and kind of holding up everybody else. Levi McIntyre, Ralph Mason, 4th and 5th. They are in a 2-car tandem right now. They may have run out of time of being able to catch up here, but Dylan Young leads the way. Here comes James Silverfox. Are we going to see Silverfox push another Dylan to victory lane? We saw it last season in Season 6. But Silverfox, though, he's got drafting partner in Madison Sieber. If he can get up here to the back bumper of his teammate, we may see Silverfox try and go for all the marbles. Coming out of turn 4, white flag will be displayed this time. Turner Scott Motorsports 1-2, then the Michael Norman Motorsports car of Madison Sieber. Now look at the inside of Silverfox. These two continue to battle for second. Dylan Young got to be loving every minute of it as the white flag is displayed for the number 30 machine. Madison Sieber got to make quick work here of James Silverfox. Have Silverfox tuck in behind her so she can get a run down the back straightaway here on the leader, Dylan Young. Let's see if she can clear the 34. Yes, indeed she has. Silverfox now tucks in line behind Madison Sieber. Will he help the 1 car get to the back bumper of his teammate? Dylan Young still leading by about 3 car lengths. And Madison Sieber does not appear to be closing up that gap. Coming out of turn 4 for the final time. It's Young, Sieber, Silverfox. Will Sieber be able to make any kind of a move? on the 30 machine. No, she won't. Dylan Young is going to start off Season 7 with a bang. He wins the drive for COPD 300 here today at Daytona International Speedway. And Turner Scott Motorsports going to finish 1-3 here today. What a great effort by both those drivers. Give a little bit of an assist to their now lap-down teammate, Henry Nova. But Dylan Young, what a great win for him. Chaser last season, wasn't able to really be up there at the end to battle for the championship, but a great win here to start off his Season 7 campaign. He'll pick up the win. How about Madison Sieber? Highest finishing rookie here today. She's going to get second place. Maybe that running in the Sprint Unlimited, that one race deal, gave her enough experience to be able to run well here today. And James Silverfox, great job by him to make it a 1-3 finish for the Turner Scott Motorsports team here in his debut for that team in the 34. Well, this time, folks, I'm going to be able to stick around and be able to show you the official top 10. I wasn't able to in the Truck Series event. How about Levi McIntyre? Great run for that rookie as well. Solid run in his debut in the Mobil Cup Series of 4th place. Ralph Mason started pole, finished 5th. Solid run for him today. Zach Campbell, he's going to get 6th place. Good run for him. Charles Jackson is 7th. Luke Walker actually finished in 8th. 9th place was Cassandra Renzi. She started on the outside of the front row here today after Harrison Langford had his problems. Nice run for that rookie. So it was actually Turner Scott Motorsports 1, 3, and 9 today. And then in 10th place was Joshua Collard. A nice run for that machine. Let's take a look at the rest of the drivers that actually finished this race. You got Chris Washer. He finished in 11th. Drew Austin was in 12th. Andy Timmons 13th. 14th place was James McLeod. 15th Kyle Corbett. Then it was Lyndon Wright in 16th. Trent Dunham, damaged car and all, finishes top 20 in 17th. Wolfgang Mason was in 18th. Ian Dutta in 19th. And the last car to finish that I believe was on the lead lap, or was off the lead lap, was Henry Nova in the 32 machine. He finished in 20th place. So 20 drivers finished today's race, and Dylan Young picked up the win in today's event. Well, folks, we've done a Truck Series race with a surprise rookie winner. We've had a Mobil Cup Series race with a surprise veteran winner. What's going to go on in the Daytona 500? I don't know, but we're going to find out same time you do, because that's what's next on our schedule. The Great American Race, the 7th annual running of the Great American Race, is going to be what will finish off this race weekend, a 50-lap event getting ready to be run very soon, and hope you'll be tuning in for that, where some driver is going to be able to write his name with the likes of John Brace, Logan Wilson, Trent Whitney, James McLeod, and Jacob Lawler, as well as last season's Daytona 500 winner, Barney Ward. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. Thank you all for sticking around here for this 40-lap event, as you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best. Here comes your official finish results, overall points, and rookie points, heading into next week. Race at Phoenix.